Hello. Hi. Nice to see you. This is Amber Wright, and I help women ground spiritually and be financially free by helping them and their families create a plan of what ifs from unexpected events. Therefore, they no longer have to live in fear because they know what will happen in those what if scenarios. Do you know anyone that may be curious to know more? Today, I want to talk about these what if scenarios that are not fears, but big dreams, and they're sitting inside of us. I have some really big dreams, and I'm taking the small steps to have them happen. And it is so exciting. I've made some of those first steps on the path to actually having the dream that I've been thinking about daily for the past 11 months. And it feels so relieving to have made that small step on the journey. One of the small steps is that I went in the schools. I went to my fourth grade class in the local school, and I talked about bank accounts. I did financial education and shared all sorts of different things. It was so great. So I got up in the front of the room. I didn't know what I was going to talk about exactly, but I had this sort of general idea, and I introduced myself, 2 sentences, and then I went into what do you know? So let's have a raise of hands. What do you know? And I said like things like interest, inflation, savings account, checking account, CDs, mutual funds, stock market. And they knew what a lot of the things were. They know what debit cards are and credit cards are because their parents use these all the time, right? So they know financial education from what their family talks about and what they pick up, but they don't have the definitions for the words. They have a plethora of false assumptions that become our blocks to money, like wealthy people are selfish, or gosh, there's so many of them. Things about like assumptions about money, about responsibilities with money, responsibilities with being in debt. I'm having a hard time thinking of them, but there are so many, and there are these blocks and barriers that we get to work through to realize that our own financial abundance, that we're entitled to it. And that's what the kids walked away with that day, is this excitement about entrepreneurs and building a business and getting the responsibility of having people work for you, that it's not a scary thing. So that was the first day. And the second day, another mom came and helped. And we talked about different regions and resources. And they went through an activity to build a business and made up slogans. How are you going to advertise for it? What service does it do? Made up a name. And it was all pretty fast within 15 minutes. And then afterwards, we got this out and showed them how to do this. We showed them how to write a check. So in school, kids are taught things like how to write the long form of the word, but they don't know that you actually have to use that in real life to write a check. And to learn cursive, they're even taking cursive out of school, and you need to know cursive in order to make up your signature. And so we talked about signatures. We talked about mistakes on writing a check. I talked about how if there's a mistake up here, it doesn't really like matter as much, but this part has to be correct. And if there's a mistake down here where you write out the long form of the number, they'll send it home with you. And I had that happen to me a couple months ago. It was written out wrong, so I had to take it home. Then we went through this is a bank registrar, right? And we had the kids start out with $100, and they only did the first couple lines, but at the same time, it's a start, and it is a great thing for them to know. I'm going to go into interest next and talk about inflation. So they just learn percentages in school too. So talking about this helps them understand why they need to know percentages and how it's useful. So now that they know that, I'm going to go into inflation deeper and talk about why a gallon of milk costs more than it did 10 years ago, and it's going to cost more in 10 years. And then I start talking about saving money. There's this great example, and I don't have the numbers exact right. I got to find this example again, where if you save right now and you get interest on that money that you save, so you're going to buy a car. And if you save your money to buy a $10,000 car, it's around $7,500 that you have to save and then have it grow using inflation as well. But if you buy the car and then pay for it later, you end up paying around $13,000 because of inflation. And also you pay interest on the car after you buy it. Sometimes they're 0%. Anyways, so let's see, I was going to talk about more of the what ifs of our dreams. And so the what if on this dream for me is, what if I go into the high school? What if I go into public speaking? What if I get my slides together and explain these concepts to people that will help them manage their own personal finances, will help them not be afraid of money? The main what if that I get to convey is this excitement about money because it's so awesome. And my other what if is the wealthy way, stepping into living in abundance. And this is a soul infused life of acceptance of everything that we can handle. It's about living extraordinarily and stepping out of our means, making connections, being the most genuine that we can be. So I want to open it up now, and I'm going to open up my mind. I'm going to relax. So when we live in a wealthy way, we have access to greater sources of knowledge and divine guidance that's within all of us. And this comes from our gut, and it comes from our heart, connected with the greater source of intelligence. There's ideas that come to us and pass through us. And I am sure that since it is so dense here, that only a small percentage of these good ideas stick. So I invite you to access the spiritual guidance that is all around you. Did you know that each person has at least one, but usually between 2 and 5 helpers that they can call on to help them with various tasks. We are surrounded by spirit guides. We always have one with us when we're focused on change. We can attract more guides to us. These are angelic helpers. They're around you. They are waiting for you to invite them in. All you have to do to invite spirit helpers is to ask. So get centered, take your deep breaths, feel the ground beneath your feet, be aligned in your soul, in your body, and open your ears, open your mind to the space between your thoughts, and allow divine guidance to come through. Our spirit guides and helpers have some good ideas for you. And not only do they have ideas, and they're there assisting you, giving you good energy, they can also help through the great spirit that is within all and of all to align synchronistically the resources for you to step into the abundance of the higher state of consciousness, of bringing more lasting change in the better, of living in a wonderful state of mind, having the things that you need, being thankful. Thankfulness and gratitude instantly aligns you with being in abundance and being in a higher state of consciousness and joy. So, wrapping it up, open up, be thankful, ask for help. Know that you are supported. There's assistance. Things happen for a reason. Life is beautiful.